Hey guys, Sasha from Mobile Geeks here, and that's the brand new Sony Xperia Z Ultra. Is it a phablet? Is it a tablet? You know what, before we're answering or we're gonna discuss this question, I would like to tell you a little bit about my history of Android smartphones. My very first Android smartphone that I got, that was the HTC Desire. And as you can see, it looks a little bit worn out. That was about 3 years ago, right? 3.5-inch display. Kind of changed the way I've been using a smartphone because I was a Crackberry guy. So I've been using Blackberries for like 4 years or so. The next significant step in the way I've been kind of changing my usage scenario was by getting the Samsung Galaxy S2. That was a 4.2-inch display, and everyone was telling me, "Oh my God, this is so huge." I mean, look at this right now. This feels like a toy, basically, because after the Samsung Galaxy S2, about 2 years ago, Samsung introduced the very first generation of the Samsung Galaxy Note, a 5.3-inch device, and I loved it. I knew right at this moment, I'm a phablet guy. I'm all about phablet. I love the huge batteries and I love the gorgeous screen. Like that was a 1280 by 800 resolution. So once again, as you can see, I put a nice little matte screensaver on, and I've been using this until, well, there's always a successor. The Samsung Galaxy Note 2 arrived. And it comes with a 5.5-inch display, and now I just can't decide if I should switch over to the LG Optimus G Pro. But when we're looking back, in the history of mobile phones, I think most of you guys can remember a time where phones got smaller and smaller and smaller, and when we mainly ended up with sizes like this, right? Well, of course, this is not a feature phone. This is a handset that belongs to an Asus MemoPad, which is kind of the fundament of the very first Asus Nexus 7. So if you want to know more about this, because it has a fancy transparent OLED display, just leave me a comment, and we're gonna do a little bit of a blast of the past video. But let's go back to the Sony Xperia Z Ultra. I've been really looking forward to get my hands on this device. New York, yeah, sure. Nicole was in Shanghai during the launch event. I had to travel. I was just so jealous because I also have to admit that I'm a Sony fanboy. I grew up with the Walkman. I grew up with all these fancy Sony stereos and the first Sony TVs. I even had a Sony MSX computer. If you know MSX computers, just leave me a comment, right? That was back in the 80s, right? Late 80s. And then I've been using Sony Vaio Zs and Sony tablets for the last 3 or 4 years. But anyways, I've been so excited to finally get my hands on this, and I think we should just dive right into it. I bought it for roughly, that was 22,900 NTs here in Taipei. So that's 700, I would say like 760 US dollars. Which, in my opinion, is not that bad for what you're getting. Well, I have to also admit that I already did a German unboxing, so I had to rebox it again, and that's well, Nicole did this, so I blame her for this. We're getting a bunch of whatever cards because they're all in Chinese and I can't read them at all. But let's just dig a little bit deeper. Here's the PSU, of course, with the USB out. Which connects to this cable and the micro USB connector. We have a nice little headset that looks beautiful, and just in case, right, here's some spare headset rubbery thingies, and oh boy, I've been wondering what this is, but you know what, I'm gonna let you know very soon, because here, I mean, you can actually really do an unboxing with this device because it comes with quite some accessories. So, hey, all the competitors, all your Apple, HTC, Samsung, Motorola guys, look at the Sony. they're really coming up with some nice little gadgets for a year. Big gadget. So this is a docking station here. And it has a kind of spare, well, holder or whatever. So that's a spare thingy here for the docking station, which connects to USB. So it looks kind of cool if you can just place it on your desk. And I think, you know what, we really have to applaud Sony for this, because I'm so sick and tired of paying $400, $500, $600, $700 for a new smartphone, tablet or whatnot, and they just can't put a sleeve in there or a little case that cost them in mass production maybe like 10 cents or so, right? Sony did it. Well, it's not Alcantara leather or anything like this. It's plastic, but it is a sleeve, it is a case. It's going to protect my device, right? And I don't have to go into the next Sony flagship store or into a Samsung flagship store where I bought the Samsung Galaxy S4 official case and they charged me like $49 US. So are you goddamn kidding me? I just bought your $500 or $600 device, and you're charging me for the additional case. But that's where the margin is. Trust me, you know what, this accessory industry is billions and billions and billions of dollars big. Let's get rid of all these boxes, because I have so many devices here on the table. I would love to compare it with a bunch of them. Let's talk a little bit about the Z Ultra and especially about its specification. That's actually my very first device with a Snapdragon 800. That's this infamous quad-core architecture, 2.2 gigahertz, and compared to the Snapdragon 600, that's, for example, here in the LG Optimus G Pro, it comes with the Adreno 330 GPU, which offers you a lot of extra performance over the 320 GPU that's in the 600. So, well, I mean, first of all, you think, okay, you know, the size is not too bad, but then my hands are coming in, and trust me, that's not because I have such huge hands, just small hands or whatever. This is just a beast. This is not a phablet anymore. I think this is more of a tablet, definitely. Let me just get rid of all these stickers. And trust me, you want to make sure that you always have a little cloth in your pocket or so, because this is a fingerprint magnet. Actually, I think it's a feature. Like Sony made this, watch out. It's not like that I had a bunch of French fries, but trust me, it's immediately messed up right away, and you're cleaning and cleaning and cleaning and cleaning. Maybe that's what the case is good for. Anyways, let's talk about the specifications, and let's dive right into this. As I said, Qualcomm Snapdragon 800, we got that. 6.44-inch display, 1080p. It's one of these infamous triluminous displays from Sony, which kind of came from their smart TVs to the laptops, and now it's here also on a smartphone. Let's say tablet form factor. Phablet? I don't know. However you want to name it. 1080p, as I said, Qualcomm Snapdragon 800, 2 GB of RAM, 16 GB of internal storage that you can upgrade with a micro SD card up to 64 GB. That means, you know, you're ending up with 80 GB. Let's take a quick look around the system. We have a 2 megapixel camera on the front. It's an 8 megapixel camera on the back, and something is missing. There is no LED flashlight. It's going to be interesting to take pictures in the dark with this device. On the right side we have a jack for the headset. Your micro SD card and your micro SIM card goes in here. That's the power button, volume rocker. That's the ones, I was close to say stereo speaker, but it's only one speaker, so there's no stereo sound. And you know what, this speaker sucks. I'm gonna play something for you later. And over here we have the connectors for the docking station, and last but not least we have the connector for the micro USB over here. Here we go. Finally. you know what, the first impression that you're getting from the Xperia Z Ultra is, holy shit, this is so light. And when you're looking at the spec sheet, it says 212 grams. And it's just, oh my God, it should be so heavy. But this is 6.44 inch. And if you compare this, for example, to a 7-inch device, let's get this Nexus 7 in here. And as you can see, well, there's not much of a difference, right? But these devices were always at least 300 grams. So it's a huge difference. Plus, it is so thin. 6.5 millimeters. And once again, let's compare it with the Nexus 7. Now look at this. That is absolutely amazing what the engineers at Sony just kind of did with this. Finally, let's switch it on. Gosh, I want to clean it again. And trust me, it's not me. It's so not me. Well, I already set up the device a little bit. Forgot to, I think Nicole's been downloading already a couple of benchmarks and games, but we put them all in one folder so that you're not getting confused with it. Let's set up a language here. Yeah, I'm getting it. And let's go for, where are we? Let's do English UK. Okay, yes, no SIM card right now. And that's how it looks like. So that's the start screen. And what I love about the Sony customization of Android is it still looks and feels a little bit like a vanilla experience. I mean, that's not a stock Android ROM, right? Like what you could get on a Nexus. But still, it looks very stylish. It looks very minimal. And it kind of reminds me a little bit on the way Asus does this with all their tablets and of course also with their pad phones. You know, they've been focusing more on the apps and on the widgets and without changing too much of the overall look and feel of Android. What you can also see is just this enormous grid. I mean, we have like 7 icons here in a row. So that's just huge. A lot of screen real estate for you guys, for widgets and for all your favorite apps. Talking about apps, we have these traditional Sony smartphone apps on here. So we have a Walkman media player, we have your album, we have movies, and we have Sony Select, which is kind of Sony optimized app store. Let's say their little app store. But let's switch over and check out the movies here, because I would love to give you an idea of the speakers and of course of the screen. So that's the full volume here. And that's it. I mean, Sony, seriously, I love this device. But why, oh why, whoever made the decision to put such a poor speaker in there, and only one, not even stereo, it just... Could you just please fire this guy? Seriously, it makes no sense. This device is meant to be a kind of media player, right? And I would love to use this on a flight, to watch some movies, but yeah, it sucks a little bit. But besides that, I mean, this display is absolutely gorgeous. Sorry about the reflection of our lights here on the ceiling. Just trust me that this display is one of the best displays I've ever seen in my life. On a smartphone, aka phablet, aka tablet form factor. Okay, let's go back. And I would love to show you another huge difference compared to any other smartphone or phablet that's out there. Without having any custom ROM or using any specific application for this, I can run all of this in landscape mode. And even when I'm switching over to the app grid, it's still in landscape. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Right? And it just kind of tells you what Sony had in mind while they were building this device, in what kind of user scenario they would see with the customers that are using this one here. So that's absolutely fantastic in my opinion, because I mean, especially when you're using the keyboard. Let's just open up. So look at this. And again, this keyboard reminds me of all the tablets. This is just great, right? When you are a heavy emailer or whatnot, or messaging guy, you're on WhatsApp or WeChat or Line or Facebook Messenger or Google Hangout, right? You would so appreciate this keyboard. Well, you know what? What about in portrait mode? Let me just quickly zoom out again. How does that feel? There we go. And still, I mean, it's a proper keyboard, isn't it? Let's go to the app grid and see if there's anything else that is really interesting in terms of pre-installed apps. Well, Evernote is on here, Office Suite is on here, and here are all the apps that we're using for our review test and for our gaming test, of course. Let's check out which Android version it's using, but you know what? You can already tell by looking at the lock screen. See that? So we have lock screen widgets. That means it has to be Android 4.2. And here we go. Of course, it's Android 4.2.2. So what else can I tell you about this device? Well, it has an IP58 certification. That means it's kind of, I wouldn't say water and dust sealed completely, but you can put this into a water tank or into a pool for 30 minutes and up to 1 meter depth. So that's not too bad. It's absolutely proof kind of for sprinkling water and all of this. Haven't tested a dusty environment with the Xperia Z Ultra so far. Well, I just got it. I did a German unboxing video, and now that's my second video, and that's about it. But just trust me, when Nicole was in Shanghai and she did the kind of water test, and maybe we can just show you a little bit during this video with a little insert or whatnot, or what she was experiencing with it. All I know is it worked, right? It definitely worked. Another interesting feature of the Xperia Z Ultra is that you can use it in a kind of stylus mode. Well, you don't need a stylus mode for this. You can actually use each and every pen. I mean, look at this. This is metal. This is so cool. You can use a pen or a pencil. Well, you have to clean it anyways all the time because of your fingerprints. And just control the device with it, right? Well, this is of course a special one. But on the other side, it still works. Quite nifty, isn't it? There's a 1350 milliampere hour battery in there. And you know what I just can't tell right now is how the battery life will look like. That's the Snapdragon 800. That's a beast of an SoC. A quad-core, 2.2 gigahertz, right? And an amazing GPU. So I definitely have to play around with it for a couple of days to really see, you know, how the battery life is. But besides that, my first impression of this device are absolutely 2 thumbs up. I mean, the build quality is amazing. This, as soon as you're taking it in your hand and you feel how light it is and how good it feels and how solid, and you're just turning it around and then you figure out again, oh my God, I have to clean it again. Well, trust me, it is really annoying. Right? So I will keep it in this case or sleeve. But last but not least, what I would love to do is I'll give you a little bit of a size comparison of the Xperia Z Ultra with all the other devices over here. So here's the Nexus 7. Now take a look at this. This is just so close to the Nexus 7. Let me get the Galaxy Note 2 in here. Here we go. Oh, okay, let's shift it a little bit over to the right. There we go. And then we have the LG Optimus G Pro, and there's the Note. Oh my god, we have more devices. Okay, here we go. And then, of course, we have the S2, and there's a Desire. Now look at this. Is this a smartphone? Is this a phablet? Is it a phablet? I don't know how we want to define it. Maybe it is just the Xperia Z Ultra. And I guess that's exactly what it is, because there's no other device on the market that offers you such a screen, that offers you such a design and build quality, and also offers you such a beast of a processor in this form factor. There will be lots of Snapdragon 800 devices coming to the market very, very soon. The Z Ultra is different. And especially, I mean, look how thin this is. If I compare this with my Galaxy Note 2, I mean, that's a huge difference, isn't it? Last but not least, what I would like to show you is how the accessories are working out. Let me just quickly show you the docking station. So we have these little contacts here. You're just placing it like this. Right, so you can keep it on your desk, you can still recharge it, maybe run a Twitter client or any RSS reader on there, or your Facebook stream or whatnot. I really like it, or Google Plus, of course. So, and by the way, you can always follow me on Google Plus. That's where I'm putting all the nerdy thing up. Last but not least, here it is, the case. Let's try this. Snaps in here. And there we go. Is this too much to ask for all you smartphone and tablet manufacturers out there to get all of us users a nice little sleeve after we paid like $500–600 for your latest gadget? Well, Sony delivered, and I'm seriously proud of what they did. Right? It has a very, very unique design, which is following this Xperia Z or Tablet Z style line, right? If I would place a Tablet Z next to it or the Xperia Z next to it, I don't have the Xperia Z, but I have a Tablet Z here. You could definitely tell that this is part of the family, and it's very minimalistic, and it's very stylish and timeless. And that's what I like about the design, right? It's a little bit edgy, but it feels really good in your hands. And once again, the build quality is amazing. What I hate is this fingerprint feature. But besides that, my first impressions after playing around with this device for like 3 or 4 hours are very, very positive. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to test it over the weekend and maybe a couple of days into the next week, because I am flying to New York on Tuesday for the LG Optimus G2 event, and I will take it with me. And when I'm coming back, I will do the review video. When you guys have any questions, right, please let me know in the comments, because it helps me a lot, right, to also get to know about your usage scenario and to get to know what is important for you guys. And then I will do a review video with it. So if you like this kind of one-take unboxing video, walkthrough, comparison, little bit of storytelling about my history of smartphones, and not this highly edited stuff that we are definitely doing for our review video again, please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, share it, subscribe to us. And once again, if you have any questions regarding the new Sony Xperia Z Ultra, let me know and I'm happy to answer them. I'm Sascha from Mobile Geeks. Thanks for watching.